So good evening and welcome to the start of Season 14 here at NXTGEN. We're kicking things off with the Group A1s yet again. Brands Hatch GP the place. M1 Procars the car for this week. And it's very wet, so should make things very interesting, very slippy as everyone starts coming out of the pits. So the drivers tonight we have Slider Gas 28, Envoy Extreme, NGR Royston, One High Mofo, Jamie F430, Whitford 0, and the Les, Adam Morris, Web User Johnny, NGR Scooby G, Tim 78, F124YS, NGR Lee, Line of Greasby, D Whitehouse 7, and of course Jack TM53 Synopsis. As they head around the circuit. See this, the outlaps. No tables as this is round number 1 as Royston decides to take to the grass, not the ideal route. Jamie F430. Go on board with Jamie as he heads out of clearways. On board then as we head up for a lap of Brands Hatch GP with the M1 Procar. Across the line we head up to Paddock Hill Bend. You've got to go careful. The back end will start to go as you go over the crest. You try and tuck it in, bring in the throttle, use as much road as you dare. Do not go over the white line. The game will penalise you. Into Druids, a hairpin right, fairly simple corner. Just make sure you don't bring the throttle in too early. Down to Graham Hill Bend. Very interesting one. Don't want to run wide here, but you can take a lot of pace if you get the right line. Down Cooper Straight and into Surtees. Two ways of going through Surtees. You can have the early entry as Jamie's done there, or you can have the late entry, square the corner up to try and get the run down the straight as we head towards Pilgrim's Drop and towards Hawthorns. Very fast, long right-hander. Got to go careful. A little bit of a bump in the middle of the corner. There it is. Out there through the Derek Minter Straight and into Westfield. Quite a tight, medium right-hander. Flick it right as you head now down through Dingledale. And then into Sheen Curve. Take a bit of curve through there. Don't let it run wide onto the grass. Into Stirling's. Cambered inwards so you can take good pace through here. Down Clearways and into Clark Curve. Jack's had his time invalidated twice, and that's a lap with Jamie F430 of Brands Hatch GP, this 2.433 mile circuit. A 135 4, Whitfield with a 135.7. Sondheim Mofo. Although NGR Scooby G, this is his home, and he's now 2/10 to the good with 135.2. Absolutely dead bang on. Who's we got coming through? Who's coming down the straight? I guess we'll find out now. That was the Les. He's put in a 140.5 so far. There's more people. There's Tim 78. He's currently in 8th place, a 145.2. That's Adam Morris. He's not had a good lap. And that's Tim in the barrier, trying his Houston trip. Not quite going to work. Slider Gas comes through with a 151.6. That's Web User Johnny. That's Jack and Line of Greasby. They've had a bit of a tangle, or something's gone on there between the pair. Envoy Extreme comes across the line. What does he do? Nothing. An invalidated lap time or an outlap there for Envoy Extreme. Here comes Line of Greasby. It's not going to be a great time this, if it's going to be a time at all. Yeah, no time at all in that respect. Finds one. Here goes one high mofo coming through Clark Curve. Across the line he comes. Stays in 5th place. There's Whitford going out of the pit lane. Here comes DY House 7, currently in 6th. He's had a good qualifying session so far. Does improve, puts in a 137.1 and then goes straight off at Paddock Hill Bend. The Les comes across the line in 6th place. He goes up to now with that 36.9. Right on the tail of one high mofo there. F124YS. Solid debut. He is a debutant tonight. Currently in 9th place with a 139.009. NGR Lee, another debutant, but a seasoned veteran at NXTGEN. He's currently 4th on the grid with a 135.3. Adam Morris is putting a good time, 134.6. Still 2/10 off of Scooby G, who's managed a 134.4 and is going quicker in conditions that should technically be getting worse and worse. Number 15 machine. Into Clark Curve he comes. Can he improve? He was 7/10 up coming out of Sheen Curve. And he's 8/10 up. He's now 9/10 to the good, a 133.6, which, to be honest, I don't know if you can find any more time than that in this sort of weather. Jamie puts in a 134.5 to go ahead of NGR Adam Morris. The Les had a bit of a off before Sterling. That's F124YS behind. And Royston just in front of 124. Now F124 is a Fraser. But see, T'other Fraser and GR Fraser not here tonight, unfortunately. Across the line, F124YS puts in a 135.444. He puts himself up into 6th place. This is a great qualifying session for him so far. Here comes NGR Lee. What can he do? Not a lot more. 135.3. Goes Whitford. You think this is an outlap for him? Who's just crossed the line? That was Webby to Johnny. He's currently down in 13th. Now, Jack Team 53 synopsis. I'm assuming this should be a better lap for him. A 142.9 so far. Definitely not his pace. Up over the crest. Into the main straight down Brabham Straight we go. Let's stay with him for this lap. Because this man definitely quicker than 14th place on the grid so far. Although this is a very, very tight grid of cars tonight. I think NGR Adam Morris has put in a 134.4 there. One High Mofo in 4th. He loves these cars. One High Mofo taking his debut win last season at Road America in the Procar. You can continue to watch Jack as he comes through 30s. Yeah, 6.7 to the good right now. But not enough, really, to get up into the main fight. Oh, and he's lost the car. He's lost the car before Pilgrim's drop. This is putting significant pressure here on himself. There's NGR Lee. There's Adam Morris, who's now 7/10 behind Scooby G. Here comes Scooby G, coming through Clark Curve. Up to the line he comes. Stays where he is on time-wise. Comes DY House 7, currently in 9th place. This is how tight the grid is, really. DY House 7, not a slow driver at all. Where's our good friend? Here comes Slider Gas 28. He's coming through Sterling right now in the Zipperdal number 16 machine. think that's 16, either that's 76, one or the other. As he comes across Brabham straight, or curve more like, across the line, stays in 10th place at the moment. UR7 going up through Stirling, there's Whitford, also going through Stirling, Surtees. NGR Lee getting a bit sideways out of Druids, the back end. Very well controlled that. Here comes the Les. He comes across the line. Does go quicker, puts himself in 8th place now, 1:35.7. Might have already been there, to be honest. Hello to everyone who is watching tonight. Do say something in the comments. And Scooby G puts in a 1:33.333 to go 1 second quicker than anyone so far. Someone falls off the, I think. Oh no, that's one time over there. Yeah, do say hi in the comments. It's be interesting to see all of your thoughts. I will read them out. As F124YS crosses the line. Doesn't improve. Where's Jack on the track? Jack pretty much has 2 attempts at this. I think Tim has decided enough of qualifying. Doesn't like these weather conditions or something. Here comes Envoy Extreme, getting sideways, and yep, spinning to the inside. Stopping right on the apex of Sheen Curve. I say right on it, just after it, but right on the line. There goes Royston. And it's line of Greasby having issues. Royston stays where he is at the moment. This is DY House 7. He's just coming through Westfield, down through Dingledale, and up to Sheen. Two minutes 20 left of this session. Jack right behind these guys. Slide of gas. Here comes Jack. Passing someone on the right hand side. Through Clark Curve we go. What can he do? Nothing. Lap time invalidated again. This is not good news. Evening, Stuart. Yeah, turn 1 should be interesting at the start, especially in these conditions. It's definitely umbrella weather. We can look at the fans in the background. No umbrellas up at all. They are hardcore. They are getting absolutely drenched to see these guys race around here. Has Whitford 0.3 up currently on his current lap. Scooby G has called it a day. Who's going to be the next person across the line then? Let's try and find him quickly. It's going to be Royston. Go across the line, a minute to go. Here comes Slide of Gas. What's he going to do? Not a lot. I think that's... Yeah, Envoy Extreme really struggling through Sheen Curve. Just before Stirling there. He's getting rapidly caught by Whitford Zero in the number 17 car. Down into Clark Curve. He's going to have one more attempt as Whitford. Gaggle of cars about to come across the line now. Whitford puts it second on the grid. 1:33.5. Jack places 9th. Only in the mid-pack for Jack. But he's got one more attempt. And that is not how you take your final attempt. That will be it for Jack. TM53 synopsis. That's Lee going very sideways and spinning. That'll be the end of his lap. The Les is parked up at Druids. Jamie F430, the next man to cross the line. And I think he's going really, really slowly, so he'll be coming up for a practice start, I would assume, on the starting grid. I'll have to make sure he's off the line. Currently third. Just good stuff by him. Sliding gas coming through Clark Curve himself. You'll have to watch out for Jamie though. There is Jamie, looking for a start. Sliding gas puts himself up into 11th place. Very, very good effort. The Whitehouse 7 is just coming through Sheen Curve now. Jamie goes back to the pits after his practice start. Down clearways and towards Clark Curve for D Whitehouse 7. And it's a very wet day at Brands Hatch. Runs a bit wide, but that's absolutely fine. Getting every last drop of power out of that Procar into the tarmac. Crosses the line. Doesn't help at all. Web user Johnny. Oh, a bit of opposite lock there going into Clark Curve. Running it very wide. He stays where he is. I think Jack just came out of the pits, but that is qualifying over. Scooby G takes the pole position point from Whitford 0, Jamie F430, Adam Morris, the Les, One High Mofo, NGR Lee down in 7th, F124YS, a good debut for him in 8th. First time he's ever been on the game, I think, or first ever league race on P-Cars 2. Jack TM53 Synopsis in 9th, D Whitehouse 7 in 10th, Slider Gas 28 in 11th, Webby's Johnny in 12th, Liner Greasby 13th, Royston 14th, Envoy Extreme in 15th, and Tim 78 rounds out the grid. Everyone completing at least one valid lap time. So if anyone's watching, do put in your predictions of your podium. Positions 1, 2 and 3. Whitford very, very close, 2/10 away from Scooby G, and Jamie only 2/10 behind that. So it should be quite tight. Adam Morris not far behind either. Good qualifying from One High Mofo. He really does seem to like these cars. I think it's going to be hard to call a top 3, but we'll see if any of you come up with one, and we'll see who is right at the end. I think Scooby G will win it. I mean, this is his home, in essence, home circuit, really. Very dominant, very quick around Brands Hatch. As we await. Interesting top 3 that from Stewart. Scooby to win. NGR lead to be second. That's hoping Lee gets up through the field there. Starting in 7th. And Whitford podium. I definitely think Whitford's got the chance of a podium here. I just think Jamie might edge him out here. See, I'd probably go Scooby for the win, but possibly Adam Morris for second and Jamie third. Good evening, Alan. How are you, mate? Good to see you. If you have just joined, have a quick glance at the grid and see if you can predict the top 3 for the race. Because we're about to go green here. So, for the first time in Season 14, we have all the 3 red lights. We are green at Brands Hatch. Who's got the best? Oh, that is interesting at the back. Bit of contact. Scooby G has lost out to the lead. Whitford leads through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Scooby G under pressure as we head through Druids, up towards Druids, should I say, from Jamie F430 behind. Looking behind, we have Adam Morris, who's under pressure from NGR Lee, who's made up a couple of places off the start line. Looking to the inside as we head towards Surtees now. Lap 1 of 14, a good move. Adam Morris off wide. That allows the Les to manage to get through. I think that's F124YS having issues. Oh, and that's a big roll. That is slider gas. Oh, this is not pretty at all. lots of cars involved in that one. And a big roll for, I believe, is slider gas. But back at the front, Whitford still leads. Jamie right on the tail of Scooby G as they head through Stirling. NGR up into 4th place. Has been a good start from the debutante here tonight. The Les is in 5th. Adam Morris is in 6th. One High Mofo dropping to 7th. Jack getting up now into 8th as he passes web user Johnny, who's now got Liner Greasby on his tail, heading through Clark Curve. These guys unaware probably of what's just happened behind him. Meanwhile, near the front, Jamie F430 still on the tail of Scooby G. I didn't expect Whitford to get off the line so well there. Alan thinking Jamie, Adam and Scooby G. Well, at the moment, Adam's not near the front. Jamie, oh, it looks a bit, oh, that is wide from Scooby G, though. That is wide onto the grass. And that is down to 4th place. Behind that, we got Anna Morris, who's battling with the Lares as they come towards Pilgrim's Drop for the 2nd time. Now the drop. It's Hawthorns and Anna Morris almost having a look around the outside of Scooby G. He is looking around the outside of Scooby G. Can he get it done? Coming up towards Westfield, still side by side. He's done the move. That is a fantastic move, although he's lost the rear end. Big shame that for Adam Morris. That was a great move around the outside of Hawthorns. Couldn't quite get it stuck into Westfield. We have a retirement now. And I believe that is going to be... Yes, it is. Anna Morris has retired from race number 1. But Whitford still leads. NGR Lee, we've missed that. NGR Lee has overtaken Jamie F430 for 2nd place. And was lapping a 10th quicker on that last lap compared to Whitford 0. There's the Les. He's up into 4th. Though he does have Scooby G right behind him. So the Les has got past Scooby G. As they head down towards Graham Hill Bend for the 3rd time of 14. Through 30s, and again, Scooby G not quite getting the car turned in as he would have liked through there. And if he's not careful, One High Mofo will get on the back of him and he'll start fancying his chances, especially if he can keep up with him. So that first part of the lap, into 30, seems to be a weak point here for Scooby G. There's F124YS down in 13th, unfortunately caught up in that earlier accident. So right now, this is your biggest battle of the lot. You can see the guys up ahead. That's 2nd and 3rd between Lee and Jamie. Down clearaways they go. Into Clark Curve. Well, still has Scooby G behind him, and it's been surprising from Scooby G. This is normally a home felt circuit for him. He's normally gone off up the road, but it's not quite worked that way. Inside the cockpit of Scooby G, wearing a cockpit camera. Of course, he doesn't move his head very much. A little bit wide there from the legs. He's got to be careful. That could end up in penalties. And he's gone wide. Off onto the grass. Lucky to keep that still pointing in the same direction. But that is a very much unforced error from the Les. And Scooby G picks up that 4th place. Gap at the front still stable at 1 second for Whitford. One High Mofo will be looking to try and catch up to the Les. Meanwhile, I think Tim's just been passed by D Whitehouse 7. There's Roystone, slider gas behind. The slider gas has had an issue somewhere. mean off. I think this Envoy Extreme, yeah, Envoy Extreme getting lapped already. Johnny, Jamie. Envoy Extreme coming in the pits, just making sure he's out of the way. These two looks like they're trying to work together. 2 seconds behind Whitford, who's not done much wrong so far. He's led at the moment onto lap 5. But the two behind him are hungry to get that, and he's got to go careful. Meanwhile, Jack, Scooby G has made a mistake somewhere, and he's now down in 7th place. Jack up into 6th. Great drive from him so far. Scooby G really not happy at all tonight, almost. Got the balance in qualifying, and that's a move by web user Johnny, thanks to by web user Johnny. Byline agrees B on web user Johnny. Johnny just making a mistake coming out of Druid, I'm assuming, just putting a little bit too much power into the rear of that M1 Procar, causing it to spin around. And Johnny is catching Whitford. 1.5 is the gap now. And he's pulling away from Jamie for good measure. There's the Les, one Homofo behind him by 1.3 at the moment. This should be a good battle to watch in a bit when it develops a bit more. Line of Greasby and web user Johnny. I think web user Johnny is quicker, but he's got to get there first. And the gap at the front really is coming down. NGR late. A 1:33.2 there. The last lap around, nearly, that's 9/10 of a second he's managed to take out of Whitford. See him pitching the car in, the back end stepping out, and he's just loving it right now. Down Cooper Straights and towards Surtees. Oh, that's Whitford. That's Whitford in the barrier. Whitford's in the barrier, and NGR Lee now leads the race. What on earth happened to Whitford there? He's almost run wide at Hawthorns as well. I wonder if he's caught a puddle that you can't quite see, because it's quite hard with the television cameras to see these puddles. I wonder if there's a puddle going towards Pilgrim's Drop, and he's just caught it. Wow, big drama then in the mid part of this race as NGR Lee now leads, but Jamie is not going to give him a break. But now Whitford and the Les, they are absolutely nip and tuck as they head towards Clark Curve. The Les can smell blood. He can smell that podium. And he's going to be absolutely loving it if he can do this. Into Paddock Hill, Whitford 0, still just ahead. Jack has lost out to NGR Scooby G as well, has dropped a few seconds, but that's not ideal for him. Now remember, Scooby G is the defending champion of this series. It's not a great way to get off your championship defence. I don't think I've ever had a Brands Hatch Indy or GP where Scooby G hasn't won it. Whitford on board. See the standing water. No, it doesn't look like there's anything there unless he's caught the grass. Very, very strange. The gap at the front now up to 1 second, so NGR Lee starting to stretch his legs a little bit. Wide from Whitford, we're on board with the Les. We're going to look down the inside. Is there a potential gap? No, he backed out of it, going through Dingledale. Up into Sheen. Tucks back in. Up towards Sterling. A better line that from Whitford. Squares the corner up, but the Les hasn't really lost any time either. Into Clark Curve. See Les. Oh, and that's Whitford round again. So Whitford yet again spins the car. That now drops into 4th, and now he's got to be careful because one high Mofo is starting to catch him up. This is getting about as unpredictable as British touring cars in real life. And one high Mofo, that's a bit wide, as I say, not the ideal line. The back end trying to kick around. Just about saves it, very well held. Meanwhile, Line of Greasby is getting caught here by Webb User Johnny, who's getting caught by D Whitehouse 7 at a fair rate of knots actually as well. So we're going to have a three-way scrap here for the 8th place position. Oh, big sideways moment for Webb User Johnny, although Line of Greasby very, very wide through Druids. And again, wide through Graham Hill Bend. Coming up towards 30s. Oh, and Webb User Johnny looking to go down the inside. Not quite going to work. An interesting battle behind as well. I think that might be Tim at F124YS. I think F124YS just made a mistake because he's lost a bit of time. Down Pilgrim's Drop we go. Johnny looking to the inside of Hawthorne. Sides, oh, against it. Into the back of Line of Greasby. Line of Greasby, very well held, survives that one. See Johnny not expecting the braking that early or not quite spotting it because of the spray. But this is putting him in the clutches of D Whitehouse 7. Now we haven't seen much of David Whitehouse. NGR Lee has made a mistake and now Jamie F30 is in the lead. Unbelievable scenes. As we continue to watch this battle, because this is brewing quite nicely as D Whitehouse 7 looking towards the inside, coming up towards Clark Curve. Not quite going to work. He's going to look for a run out here. Oh, he doesn't have to because Webb User Johnny spins almost into the pit lane. Lucky to keep that out of the barriers there. Jack in 6th at the moment. There's Whitford. Scooby G. There. One Mofo in 4th. The Les is in 3rd. NGR Lee is in 2nd, and Jamie F30 currently leads this race. This is insane stuff. I mean, we're just 9 laps out of 14 so far. Let me know your thoughts on this race, because this is absolute chaos. It's like a game. Who wants to spin next? And, oh, that's Royston. Where's Tim? Tim's up in 11th, beg my pardon. He's having a fantastic race. A bit wide through Druids there, but, yeah, that's a fantastic effort from Tim. He goes through Graham Hill Bend. Seems like he's just stayed out of trouble so far. Very, very good drive from this man. D Whitehouse 7 has got past Line of Greasby. I think Line of Greasby has a bit of an issue on that one. Nothing too serious. Gap at the front though, 1.7 seconds. And these two, we know Jamie probably just as quick really as Lee in these things. A little bit wide out of Surtees. Down Pilgrim's Drop. Into Hawthorns, Jamie. Number 80 machine. If you have just joined us, it's been absolute chaos for the last 10 laps. People spinning left, right and centre. The lead has changed hands twice this race. Only twice because of spinning. But I guess technically 3 times because Whitford stole the lead off the start line. Scooby G's not really recovered very well. He's up into 5th actually. Isn't too bad, and he's on getting onto the back of one high Mofo. But yeah, Scooby has not looked very comfortable out there around what everyone pretty much classes as like his home circuit, because he is that quick around here. But Jamie F30 has lost 0.6 of a second that lap to NGR Lee. So this could get interesting. We still have 4 laps to run here at Brands. Down to Graham Hill Bend. Let's go to Scooby G because that gap now is at 0.8 of a second. It is closing rapidly. We enter Druids. One Homofo going the long way around. It's classified more as like the wet line, where less rubber has gone down. You should get more grip. But Scooby G really reeling in One Homofo. Looked up the inside of Surtees, obviously just a little glance. That is Envoy Extreme, I believe, getting out of the way. Good job, good sir. Down Pilgrim's Drop we go. Scooby G still behind One Homofo. And we're going to cut back to the leading pair because the gap now is half a second between these two. NGR Lee has been reeling in Jamie. Meanwhile, Scooby G now on the tail of One Homofo. He's going to go down the inside of Sterling. Great move from the defending champion. That puts him into 4th place. Meanwhile, at the front, NGR Lee continues to hunt down Jamie F430. He now 0.3 of a second the gap. Heading up towards Druids. There's more lap traffic on the way. Or Lee just sliding a little bit wide through Druids there. That would have cost him a 10th or 2. Into Graham Hill Bend. I believe our sliding out is getting out of the way. As now we head through Surtees for the 12th time tonight. That's someone else off in the gravel trap at Surtees. I don't know who that is. I think that's Tim. Oh, Tim, he's down into 12th now. Through Pilgrim's Drop into Hawthorns we go. That looks like a batch of a few cars there actually behind. That looks like Scooby G, One Homofo and Whitford. It's just kind of away. Oh, that's Scooby G in the barriers as we cut to him. So One Homofo takes 4th. Whitford now back up into 5th. Scooby G down to 6th. Definitely want to have a look at though because Jamie F430 is still in the lead. As they head down Clearways and towards Clark Curve. He's pulled a little bit of time actually through Sterling. It's fantastic stuff from him. These two very experienced racers. Jamie F430 race winner in the Group A1s. NGR Lee race winner in the Escorts. Assetto Corsa, I believe he does a bit of that as well. And he's a very, very quick driver. Whilst that is happening, Whitford's going side by side. He's actually overtaken One Homofo. And now One Homofo, oh, that's a bit of a shame. I think Scooby G may wait for that one. Yes, he is. Very unfortunate. I would suggest, yeah, Scooby G letting him back through. Very unfortunate. Good idea that from Scooby G. Trying to switch back on One Homofo, but didn't quite get it right. Actually, he tapped him. He's going to have to try and do this now. Cleaning up into Druid, down the inside. Lick a stamp and send it, son. He's got it there, but he's on the outside for Graham Hill Bend. Good defensive driving this from One Homofo. Up into Surtees, here comes Scooby G. Can he can't really send that one in there, although he does, and he's alongside. Up towards Pilgrim's Drop we come. A lot of room given by One Homofo, and that is the move complete by Scooby G. Up into 5th place, and that's Whitford yet again. I mean, are we going to call this now Whitford's corner? I've no idea, but he's got to go careful because Jack is coming along at a fair rate of knots. He's going to find Whitford absolutely stranded in the middle of the road. Can't do anything about him before Hawthorns though. Meanwhile, the front two still about 0.4 of a second between each other. Jamie goes onto the final lap with Lee right behind him. Up the hill, Jamie immediately defensive going into Druids. Lee going around the outside, he's going to lose the back end, he's going to spin towards the inside. Great car control. Still absolutely nailed to the bumper of Jamie F430. They head now towards Surtees. Jamie immediately defensive. He is going all out here. This is just how close these two are getting. Down the straight, through Pilgrim's Drop, into Hawthorns we go. A flash of the lights from Jamie for up ahead. There's a back marker. Can he play a part in this? Oh, Jamie's gone a bit wide. Keeps it on just enough as they head through Westfield. Down the drop into Dingledale. And into Sheen Curve for the final time. Sterling, Lee's got one more chance. He's got to do it either during Clark Curve or he's got to have one hell of a run out to play a drag race. Jamie just hogging the middle of the circuit. Through Clark Curve we go. It's not going to be enough for Lee because Jamie F430 will come home for a very well-deserved victory. Jamie F430 wins from NGR Lee, although a penalty maybe. No, that's just P-Cars being stupid. Jamie F430 wins from NGR Lee. Here comes the Les for a fantastic podium. What a drive this man has had. Great, great drive. Scooby G will come home in 4th after starting on pole position. One High Mofo, a fantastic top 5 for him. He loves this car. This car loves him. Jack T53 Synopsis, not the ideal start, but he'll take a 6th place in these conditions. Whitford, it's been a horrible, horrible race really for him. Very good pace shown. Lots of spins though for Whitford, but he'll come home in 7th, so not a bad start. DY House 7, a good recovery from the earlier accident. It was a big one between about 6 cars coming out of Surtees. But he will come home and take 8th place. 9th will be Lionel Griesby. Web user Johnny just behind. Not quite going to do anything though. That's someone spinning to the inside. But Lionel Griesby takes 9th place from web user Johnny in 10th. Slider Gas is 11th. F124YS will come home in 13th. Not the ideal debut. Great pace shown though. Time runs out. So Jamie F430 wins here at Brands Hatch GP from NGR Lee. The Les is in 3rd, Scooby G 4th, One High Mofo 5th, Jack is in 6th, Whitford 7th, DY House 7 in 8th, Liner Griesby 9th, web user Johnny in 10th, Slider Gas 28 11th, Tim in 12th. A great start for his campaign, probably the best one he's had in recent seasons. F124YS and his debut in 13th, with Royston in 14th. Envoy Extreme will be 15th, and Anamaris retiring after 1 lap. This will be an interesting one for anyone still watching. Who's your driver of the day for the Group A1s? I think I'm going to have to say the Les. That's a hell of a finish for him. 3rd place, just keeping it out of the walls, out of the barriers. But it'll be interesting to see what everyone else thinks. But next up, for round number 2, it's time for Bannock Bray next Monday. We're in the Mercedes 190Es. That should be a fantastic race in those cars. But cracking end to the race there. I hope you enjoyed it, because that was certainly something to watch. But do join us for next week for Bannock Bray in the Mercedes 190Es. Do stay tuned though, because in about 5 minutes time we should get the modern touring cars. That's from Zhuhai. So another new start to a championship. Should be an absolute cracker. But from myself and the Group A1s tonight, thank you for watching. Do join us next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening.